Hi, Chef Wes here again this week with our Mindful Cooking segment. This week we're going to be making some Korean bulgogi skewers with Jasmine Rice. So what we have here is we have some really nice flank steak, fresh from the market. We cut it into some about inch thick strips. I cut the whole thing in half and then cut it down in strips. And we have the ingredients for our Korean barbecue sauce. We've got some standard barbecue sauce. The recipe calls for Sweet Baby Ray's. We've got a couple of different types of Tabasco, a sweet and spicy smoky, and then a chipotle. And then we've got some teriyaki sauce. Then for our skewers, we're going to use some fresh button mushrooms, red onion, yellow pepper, orange pepper, and red pepper, and we're going to put those on some skewers that I've had soaking in water for a few hours. And then we're going to put our stir fry together. And so the recipe calls for cabbage, carrots, green peppers. I bought this really nice broccoli slaw mix, and then I added all of the trim from my pieces of peppers and mushrooms and onions from earlier to that, plus I cut up some more extra peppers. We've got ginger, garlic, sesame oil, canola oil, green onions, and then some toasted sesame seeds. And we're gonna finish that off and we're gonna build the whole dish together. So I'm just gonna whisk this together really quickly. You can see it gets a nice little nappé to it, has a little body. I'm gonna take one of my little portion cups from before and I'm gonna reserve a little bit of this sauce because the recipe says that we need to brush the skewers as we are cooking them. So I'm gonna take a little bit of my sauce and put it in that little cup, and I'm gonna reserve that for later. The rest I'm gonna do right now with the beef. So I'm gonna take our cut beef. You can see the pieces that I cut. Nice 3 inches long, about 1 inch thick. I'm gonna put all those in the bowl. And so you can kind of make this a family event. This is a really fun recipe because you could give a skewer to the kids. You do it as a couple. You could do it as a group with your friends. It's a really great recipe to do. So we're gonna take these skewers. You can see I've had them in this pan, soaking in just some room temperature water for a couple of hours so they won't flare up and burn while they're on the grill. We're gonna start with our mushroom. You gotta be pretty careful with these mushrooms, especially if you have a bigger skewer when you're putting it on there. And then we're going to put a piece of meat on there. And then we're gonna slide some peppers. So that's one of our skewers put together. We're gonna brush it with a little bit of our sauce and we're gonna get them out to the grill. I have a nice hot grill, 350, 400 degrees. You wanna get a nice sizzle when it hits the grill. You need a nice pair of tongs, you need a pastry brush, and then of course our sauce that we reserved from earlier. We're gonna let these just kind of cook on the grill. All right, you can see we're getting a little bit of color on there, so we're gonna come back and we're gonna start to baste. I flipped them over one time. I give them a nice base of the sauce on each skewer, and then I'm gonna baste them one more time on the other side, right as we're pulling them off. All right, so we're gonna put our stir fry together. So we've got all of our ingredients here that we talked about at our mise en place stage. We've got a nice hot pan on the stove. I've chosen a stainless steel pan. We don't usually use a wok at the house very often, so I'm gonna add my oil first. Final dish together. I just pulled our skewers hot off the grill, brushed them one more time with that last little bit of the bulgogi sauce. You can see those are looking really nice. I cooked them to about 130 degrees internal temperature because that's where we like to eat it. And then there you have it. There's our beef bulgogi skewers with jasmine rice and stir-fry vegetables. This has been Mindful Cooking with Chef Wes.